On today's show, Porsche's Taycan worldwide release is, well, just around the corner. Australian Energy Regulator is, well, suing wind, and Model 3 features coming to Australia, and a lot more. G'day everyone, my name's Chris and this is your show about everything happening in Australia and around the world sometimes in the space of technology, in renewables, sustainable and things like that. But first up, the Australian Energy Regulator is suing 4 wind farms involved in the 2016 South Australian blackout. Now, why I hear you ask? Because I thought that was thoroughly investigated and the findings of severe weather events like cyclones, lightning, and damaged transmission lines, and also the interconnectors, they were to blame, yeah? Well, turns out that the AER is taking a new approach on the matter. So Samantha Hepburn, the Director of Centre for Energy and Natural Resources Law at the Deakin Law School, wrote an excellent article for The Conversation, where she broke down some of the key points of why AER is now suing wind farm operators. I'll try my best to summarize it here for you, but I would highly recommend that you check out the article yourself and perhaps share it on your socials, as no doubt there will be some out there who will misconstrue this story. Alright, first up, events leading to the event and how this is important in AER's case against AGL Energy, Neon Energy Australia, Pacific Hydro and Tilt Renewables. The South Australian blackout was primarily caused by a severe weather storm that hit the state on September 28, 2016. Tornadoes with wind speeds up to 260 km per hour tore through South Australia, and a single circuit 275 kilovolt transmission line was struck down. Additionally, a double circuit 275 kilovolt transmission line was lost. This caused lines to trip up, and a series of ensuing faults resulted in 6 voltage drops in the South Australian grid. As the faults escalated, 8 wind farms in South Australia went into protection mode, that is an automated process, and which allows them to withstand voltage dip by automatically reducing the power. Then, listen to this, over a period of 7 seconds, 456 megawatts of power was removed from the grid, and it was this reduction that caused an increase in power flow through the one interconnector in the Haywood interconnector. And in turn, that tricked like a protective mechanism for this interconnector that pushed it offline. Once this happens, South Australia became separated from the rest of the national energy market and, blackouts became inevitable. And so, with demand exceeding supply, more than 850,000 homes and businesses went into darkness. Note that so far I've mentioned extreme weather events, climate change, transmission towers, interconnectors, and wind farms, but nothing about the gas and diesel power plants, nothing about solar and hydro. So this is important, as you'll soon learn soon. So what the Australian Energy Regulator is doing is suing 4 of the wind farms involved in the 2016 South Australian blackout. That's been run by AGL, Neon, I think that's how you pronounce it, Australia, Pacific Hydro and Tilt Renewables, alleging that they breached the generator performance standards and the national electricity rules. Now, this is a backflip on previous statements following AEMO's investigation, but what they're doing instead is focusing on the lead up and the aftermath of the blackout, not the event itself. This is a key point and a message that we should all share with people who will be, no doubt against renewables. And they'll say that wind farms caused the blackout. No, they didn't. They, like many other pieces of our energy network, they went into their protective mode and took themselves offline as they cost hundreds of millions of dollars. And without these protections in place, we'd have to pay for those repairs, wouldn't we? So yeah, what AER is actually doing is examining and looking at what the software these wind farm operators use. So questions about should they have been able to cope with the voltage disturbances and provide continuous energy supply? Had they disclosed their software limitations to AER? And would it have made any difference? Remembering, these events occurred rapidly, escalating in just 6 seconds before the interconnector cut itself off to keep it safe. The series of events leading up to the 2016 blackout was extremely difficult to anticipate. That's also key. And there were multiple factors with numerous key stakeholders here. So what Ms. Hepburn points out is that the Hayward interconnector was running at full capacity at the time, so any overload may have triggered its protective mechanism. The transmission lines were damaged by an unprecedented 263 lightning strikes in 5 minutes, and the market operator itself did not adopt precautionary measures such as reducing the load on the interconnector or providing clearer warnings to the electricity generators, and that none of the participants could have foreseen the series of interconnected events leading to the blackout. And well, my 2 cents, why weren't other electricity generators indicted in this federal case? South Australia has a complex mix of hydro, solar, gas, and well, they also now have the biggest battery in the world, which wasn't installed back then, so let's just take that out of the equation. But given that many other components also took themselves offline, these will serve as like a benchmark in this case, and from what I understand of law, it tests against what would normally or reasonably occur in a given situation. So my feeling is that this lawsuit won't find against the wind farm operators. But again, please read Samantha Hepburn's article as she examines the facts around the wind farms and if they could have, like, reasonably taken steps to stay online, thereby preventing the Hayward interconnector from, well, going offline or overloading. Alright, so that was a long first article. Let's get into some other news. And actually, better yet, let's do some bites. Bites is all about little digestible bites of news. And well, I'm going to start off with Nissan and EVgo. EVgo, by the way, is like an American, charging infrastructure company, much like ChargeFox and JetCharge over here and others. And they've just announced a new partnership to expand the already 2,000 charging devices they've got in America right now. And they're going to add an additional 200 at 100 kilowatts each. And well, this is, I think, important for a few different reasons. First up, well, the Nissan Leaf still has like a CHAdeMO charging adapter. So the limitations of that are there, so the onboard charger can only accept up to 100 kilowatts in the Nissan Leaf 2. As a bit of context, the Tesla superchargers, they have a minimum of 120 kilowatts, so definitely not the fastest chargers out there, but nonetheless, the more charging infrastructure that we get out there, the better. Because, well, as I learned this last week, you know, when internal combustion engines, old-fashioned cars first came on the road, you know where you had to buy your petrol from? Chemists. Chemists, I tell you. Imagine that. Hey, honey, I'm out of here and I'm going to go get some petrol. Do you want anything from the pharmacy? Yeah. Whereas now there's literally like thousands and thousands of petrol stations. So to get people's not range anxiety but charging anxiety out the way, and hey, just a little note to anyone who may be watching who doesn't have an EV, you can plug into any wall socket. So there is literally millions of charging points right now anywhere in the world. Just saying. But anyway, the sooner we get people's charging anxiety out the way and people start seeing it in shopping malls, in parking lots, anywhere that is a public space, and they go, oh, look over there, that's actually a charging point. Great, do it. All right, next. BMW iFor has been spotted in the wild, and well, these camouflage photographs kind of suggest it's looking like a bit of a sports coupe. It looks pretty nice and mirrors much the lines of the other, Beamers that are out there right now. Information is a little light on, so I'm just going to go off from what I've been able to gather from my interwebs, and that is that it's got a 0 to 100 kilometer time in about 4 seconds, and that is a top speed of around 200 kilometers per hour. And in terms of range, they're hoping for about a 600 kilometer range on one charge using a WLTP cycle. Supposedly, in the last interview that BMW did in Australia, they suggested a 2021 release, but it's going to be next year for Europe, so this would be nice to see. Next up, the Powerwall 2, and this Twitter user, Vivian Anderlin, posted some image of his or her house lit up like a star, whereas all the other houses around it were actually in total darkness. And well, that was because of blackouts. And this wasn't lost on Tesla's Twitter handler. And just a little context here. In recent times, the comedy, the tongue-in-cheek, the savage nature of Tesla's Twitter handler, Adam Kozeri, and well, he joined Tesla earlier this year, I think in July, maybe a bit before. And well, ever since, if you want a little bit of comedy gold, go check out Twitter because some of his tweets are hilarious. And well, he picked up on this blackout and how this house was actually, still operating. And his observations were this: when the grid goes down, stored energy in Powerwall means you can keep the lights on, do your laundry, play video games, instead of taking this rare opportunity to connect with your loved ones. that's wow. That's so 2019, isn't it? Porsche Taycan, and apologies for me butchering those two words because I think it's Porsche and Taycan. I'm not very certain. No doubt there'll be keyboard warriors down there who will be correcting me right now. But nonetheless, they've announced that worldwide, really, I couldn't find information about Australia, but I'm going with worldwide for the moment. They're doing a simultaneous release on September 4. Great! Okay, now, what I mean by not worldwide, they're only going to be releasing in basically Germany, China, and Canada simultaneously on this date. And, well, here's some details about this car. It will go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in about 3 seconds. It has an 800 volt battery pack, a 250 kilowatt charger, and later, through a software update, well, maybe through a software update, they're suggesting in 2021, it'll be capable of receiving a charge of up to 350 kilowatts. So that's like DC, super fast charge, 15 minutes, 0 to 100. Crazy fast charging, so that'd be awesome. Additionally, it will have an 800 kilowatt hour battery pack with an optional 96 kilowatt hour battery pack. And in terms of power, 223 to 447 kilowatts of power, depending on your battery and motor configurations. Remembering this is Porsche, and they, well, I guess Tesla's the same. They have different battery packs, and they used to have different internals to enable the ludicrous and crazy fast, speeds that you can achieve in those cars. So, yeah, this is what they're doing with Porsche too. And interestingly, it also has a 2-speed gearbox. Cool. I guess that could help. Most appear to be getting away with just the one. So I'm just curious, is that for an efficiency reason? Maybe, just maybe. The Australian release will be in 2020, and estimated cost as per Robert Meyer, the line director of Taycan, said that we're expecting a price somewhere between a Cayenne and a Panamera, which is anywhere between $116,000 to $210,000 before on-road costs. If you haven't already, go check out Fully Charged episode. Johnny had a chance to do back-to-back some 30-odd launches in this car. And well, the top, 0 to 100 k's per hour is only about 3 seconds. So it's not as fast as a Tesla, but you can repeatedly do this, which, can anyone who's got like a Tesla Model S or X who can achieve less than 3 seconds 0 to 100, can you actually just repeatedly do that? Or is it a point where the cooler wax on and, you can't actually keep doing that? I'm just curious. Okay, next up. Last week, ARENA did a press release stating that Australia, get this, per capita is installing more renewable technology than any other country in the world. Go us. Hey! And no, I'm not going to do that chant. No, just no. Okay, so a few numbers for you. In 2018, major projects, we installed 3,455 megawatts of renewable tech and rooftop solar, 1,500 megawatts. So combined, that's about 5 gigawatts. And that is up 3 times, more than 3 times of what we did in 2017. And then the amazing part is, well, 2 things. First up, By mid-2018, we had already reached our 2020 target of renewable capacity in the system. Go us. And well, obviously we're exceeding that. Yeah, we are. And in 2019, right here, right now, major projects more than 4,000 megawatts is going to be installed. And well, I anticipate it's going to be even greater because of all the news that I've been putting on this channel. Yeah, it's amazing all the different projects that are going on right now. All right, last little bite for today, and this one comes courtesy of Ludicrous Feed. That's like Tesla Tom for those people who follow him on Twitter. And he was fortunate last week to get in a performance Model 3 in Australia, like on a private racetrack in New South Wales, where he was able to not only have several circuits in an awesome car, but also he was able to ask Tesla some questions that, well, we've all been itching for. So here we go. First up, V10 software. Elon Musk recently announced that Netflix and YouTube would soon be coming to all Teslas. And well, is that going to be through the web browser, which in Australia we don't have, which is super annoying and puzzling, to say the least? Anyway, Tesla reps suggested that no, these will be actually standalone apps, so it will not need the web browser to actually work. But I'll say it again. I think that the reason we don't have a web browser in Australia is not due to regulatory reasons. No, there's actually no road law says about web browsers in cars. Yeah, it's behind the times. Yeah, it's got to catch up. Instead, I think it's because Tesla actually uses like Telstra for its data provider, which is the next point. He asked about, well, the premium connectivity after 12 months, how much is it going to be? And they suggested it's going to be about US $100 per year. Okay, so who knows if that's true? I'd like to know, actually, can you just BYO your own plan? There's a SIM card slot in all Teslas, and if you can access it yourself, go buy your own awesome data plan that is going to be way cheaper than what Telstra can do. So yeah, watch that space. And the last thing he discovered was that the long range Model 3 has more range, like this versus this, because of only the aero wheels. There is no difference in the powertrain. There is no difference in the battery configuration. So get that. That's amazing. So if you want to get the really long range on your performance Model 3, put it in a little bit of the slow mode and got the aero wheels on, you've got yourself a long range Model 3 that can go to 0 to 103.5 seconds. Lucky you. All right, that will do it for Bites. And well, hey guys, if you're enjoying the show, please consider subscribing. It's free. And well, this month I'm running a competition. And well, last week I gave away an Abstract Ocean Matte 3 screen protector. And this week, if you're a subscriber or a Patreon member, join it. You could actually win yourself a $50 Australian Amazon e-gift card. All right, entry is super simple. As I said, if you're a subscriber, you get 1 free entry. If you're a Patreon member, you get 2 free entries. So if you're both of those, you get 3 entries. Awesome stuff. Everyone has to have filled out the form. There's a little link below. Please go fill that out. You only have to do that one time, and the entry is good for the whole month of giveaways. The entries close Thursday night, 11:59 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and well, good luck. Okay, unfortunately, we have to do this. It's time for... Now, promises is everything that our politicians are and aren't doing in the space of renewable technologies. And well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to do a deep dive into nuclear power because Angus Taylor has called for an inquiry once again. Last one was like in 2006. Why is he calling for inquiry? Well, his bench of buddies and maybe his mining buddies want to, I think, go nuclear. Now, what exactly that means, well, to quote him, the economic, environmental, and safety implications of nuclear power. Well, that is just the tip of the iceberg. And you know what, actually? It's my birthday. So I'm going to reserve this special Promises episode to later this week, okay? Watch out for that. I promise you it should be a fun one because there's a lot to unpack there. Yeah, definitely. Okay, and now before I go, in addition to my subscriber giveaway, the Tesla taxi company in Queensland are offering Queensland residents a chance to win a $99 Model 3 hire for the day. Kind of saying that wrong, but basically All you have to do is just go join them up either as a renter or as someone who rents out their Tesla. All the full terms and conditions and all the information is down there on the website. And if you use my referral code, you get $25 off your first rental, so long as you do 2 days. Okay, so just remember that. But nonetheless, just be a subscriber. Make sure you go get your stuff onto their website, register yourself with them. And at the end of this month, I'll be drawing one lucky winner who will win themselves a Tesla Model 3 to drive for themselves for 24 hours. How fun is that? Yeah, I'm just giving stuff away this month, aren't I? I really am. Anyway, so thanks very much to Tesla Taxi. And look, if you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, please, I do want to hear from you. I love this sort of stuff. And actually, good question. Did you want me to do like a question and answer episode? Because I think I'm getting my groove now, and I might have time for that. I maybe have time for that. Anyway, let's see how we go. Let me know below. 2 to 3 episodes per week is what I do. Consider joining me on Patreon. That supports this channel, pays for all the equipment that you can't really see around me right now, and it enables me to do deeper, richer stories. Okay, so please don't forget your free entries, and if you do nothing, be good, be green.